Hello, everybody. I am back with my fantasy hat on. I don't know where. Oh, there he is. There's Birch Bombs in the house. What's up, dude? Your mic's muted, by the way. Yeah, so this is fantasy time. It is time to win your fantasy league.
1 week away. It's draft week as well. Don't forget that.
It's draft week. Everyone's drafting. The drafts are throughout the week on Sunday, Labor Day weekend, big time to draft. We're going to give you the tips that you need to win your fantasy league. We put together this draft kit. We had the masters in the back of uSTADIUM putting together all the tips and stats and whatnot. So we are going to give you the best tips. We're going to go through a mock draft. We're going to go through positional rankings. We'll take questions. But Birch, how you doing, bro? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm excited. I got my real draft this Sunday, so I've been reading over the kit, making sure I don't make any mistakes because you never know in fantasy. You never know what you're going to get, who you're going to get, so you got to make sure you're ready to go with whatever happens. So,
yeah, it looks like you just won a conference championship there. What do you got? Champagne back there? What the hell's going? What do you got? What are you doing with that sheet over there?
Honestly, I'm trying to create like a better soundproof room. So it's a sheet over like a big cushion. Because I'm trying to get this into like a podcasting room. So it's a work in progress for now.
Damn, dude. I don't know whether you're celebrating a championship there with champagne. It looks like you're doing a post-game interview like you just won the AL East or something.
Yeah.
Shit.
I got the little Michigan Brady jersey. Yeah. I rocked that a little bit, I got the trophy in the other room. I mean, I don't know. Trying to repeat it in one of my leagues, so I gotta keep that that regime going.
Love it. All right, yeah, let's go through this kit real quick. So this is, again, uSTADIUM. We're doing this for Hurricane Ida relief. If you want to donate, it's linktr.ee/uSTADIUM. Throw in some dough for the American Red Cross, which is going to the Hurricane Ida relief. Snacks Harrison threw in 2K before. That's our man right there. He'll be doing a show on the uSTADIUM network. So Damian Harrison's the man. So you'll be expecting him. Another sleeper we got coming onto the network is Craig Carton's son. Sonny Carton will be doing a show at uSTADIUM in the near future. So he's a beast, man. Young kid. He goes to the U, also Miami. So he'll be doing a show here probably in early October. But, yeah, let's run through this. This is what we got. So strategies. This is how you're going to win your league, and this is the #1 piece of advice I can give anyone in the world. I've won a few fantasy chips, nothing recently, but I got some in my day. #1, go big at running back. Don't worry too much about getting Davante Adams or Tyreek Hill in the first round because you don't know what the value is going to be later on in your drafts at wide receiver. You might be able to pick up a wideout like an A.J. Brown who can give you 85 to 90% of the production of a Tyreek or Davante, considering their injury history as well. And you can get someone like AJ later on, but you're not going to be able to grab someone like a Nick Chubb or a Najee Harris at that point, value-wise. So go big at running back early on. First 6 or 7 picks, I think, in this draft should be running back. I don't know, Birch, what do you think about that? I think that's #1 piece of advice right there.
No, most definitely. Honestly, even with the ETN, Cam Akers injury, the J.K. Dobbins injury, it just solidifies it even more that you're right. Running back is the most scarce position after the round. I think round 3, we're gone. And you're looking at Trey Sermon. You're looking at Javonte Williams. You're looking at guys that you want to produce 6 weeks into the season, not guys that you want to draft, start, and be your RB1, RB2. So if you have that chance, first round, to me, it's always been like this. You always go running back unless there's someone that just does it better. But running backs being as scarce as they are, receivers are just a plethora. There's so many of them. You can be in round 6. Yeah. Round 7, and you can still get a potential receiver 1, but in round 6 or 7, you're not getting a running back 1. I'll tell you that right now. You're getting borderline flex, maybe that guy, like I said, 6 weeks down the road, but nothing immediate like production.
Yeah, think about it. And on most cheat sheets, you have Adam Thielen is between 20 and 25. Thielen, people don't remember, had 14 touchdowns last year, so you can get guys like Thielen, Kenny Galladay, DJ Moore later on in the draft. You're not going to be able to pick up a Najee Harris or a Jonathan Taylor or Antonio Gibson that late. So go running back early. This is another great piece of advice, I think, and not many people follow this as well. Don't draft based on rankings. If you have 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers, go get your quarterback. So this is pretty obvious, but don't go based on rankings all the time. Go based on what your strategy is and what your need is.
Exactly, because honestly, I even had a draft this past week where I was stuck with the quarterback around 7 or 8, and I looked at the receivers, the running backs, and I'm like, if I don't take Justin Herbert or, say, Tom Brady, I'm going to be stuck with a Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to be stuck with a Matt Ryan, Big Ben, and those aren't the guys that are going to win the leagues every week. You don't want to be streaming a quarterback every week just because you thought you had to go running back because you didn't have enough. So make sure the rankings are there, but you also want to do your own rankings, your own tiers to feel comfortable who you're picking later on in the draft.
Absolutely, man. Damn, Burch, you did your research today, kid. I like it. Let's go.
I love fantasy, man.
Yeah, fantasy's great, man. Fantasy's always been awesome. I like it better than betting, to be honest, but that's just me. Yeah, this is pretty obvious. You want to balance your team. Obviously, bye weeks are key. If you like this fantasy kit, by the way, just hit us up at uSTADIUM. Shoot us a DM. We'll send it over to you. Or in the chat, say you want the fantasy kit, and we'll shoot it out to you as well. Mock. This is big. I don't do this enough. Do a bunch of mock drafts. At least do 1 or 2 before. And when you do your mock draft, I would say do one drafting high and do one drafting late. Do one drafting 4th. Do one drafting 11th, just so you understand who's there, and do a couple of them. So that's always important. This is a key one. Do not overdraft a quarterback. Don't be that guy in your league, in my opinion, that's getting Patrick Mahomes, the first person to take Patrick Mahomes in your league. Just don't be that guy or gal. Just don't do it, because you're going to miss out on a player who adds value, like an A.J. Brown or a Chris Carson, that can add value to your team. And then you down the line, you never really know who's going to be there. You can get someone like a Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, or Brady later on in the draft that'll give you 92% of what Mahomes will. So be careful with the quarterbacks. A lot of people overdraft them.
I'm trying to think. If you see, my point to being that is, if you take a quarterback early like Mahomes, he's going around 2, pick 15, 16 sometimes. Sometimes I've seen him going to round 3. If you're confident enough that you pick that quarterback, like I was saying, rankings, if that quarterback is better than the guy at the position that you're going with, take him. But like Frankie said, if you're going to sit there and take a quarterback, you have to be ready to have a backup plan to pick up players that aren't going to be there in the next round or 2.
Yep, absolutely. Again, everyone, you're listening to uSTADIUM Live. We're doing this for Hurricane Ida relief, and we have an auction going on right now. So if you want to get in on that auction, we're auctioning off signed memorabilia, which is going straight to Hurricane Ida as well. Cameron Jordan, the Goud, he gave us a game-worn jersey, so you can go get that auction off right now. The price isn't that higher on that.
A nice collection.
Yeah, hell yeah. Justin Fields signed helmet. This stuff has residual, money effect for you. So Justin Fields' signed helmet especially. Fields is looking good. Identify red flags. Yeah, make your do not draft list. I have a couple guys on mine that I wouldn't draft. But we can go through them. But like I'm not drafting guys like Damian Harris of the Pats. I'm just not sold. Yeah. Trey Sermon, I think that's Mostert's team right there. So there's certain guys I have that I think I'm not drafting, but you should make a list and just don't go after them.
I mean, there's always a few players that are either injury prone. Like honestly, and this is probably same with everyone else's list, Saquon Barkley. I don't care what they're saying now if he's healthy or not. That's just one player I was bitten badly by for the last few years in fantasy drafts. It's not that he won't produce. It's just these are players that you can't take the risk, because if they aren't healthy, like Michael Thomas last year was a top 5 fantasy pick in a lot of drafts. He didn't play up until I think week 10, and he screwed over a lot of teams because teams went heavy and that was their first pick. And without your first pick being there, you're missing a lot of fantasy production. So don't sit there and pick a guy unless you know the ins and outs, the injury history, like I said, red flags, because that can make or break a team if you draft around that certain player.
Yep. All right, let's get into some good stuff right now. We'll skip by this. We'll skip this. Matchups matter. If you want the fantasy kit, by the way, visit that link, that same link to donate. So this is interesting. 5 things you should and shouldn't do while drafting. Should be confident. This is honestly, these first 2 tips are life goals, life skills right here. This is if you're at a bar talking to some girls, you got to be confident. You got to have no fear. You got to take a few risks out there. So it's like you're going up to a group of girls at the bar. You got to follow these rules before your draft. Enter with a strategy. Be ready to adjust. Bar tips as well. Keep their rosters on track. This is true as also. And obviously wait on defenses and kickers. Don't draft a kicker until the last round. I'm in leagues that don't even have kickers. I think kickers shouldn't be a roster position in fantasy leagues anymore.
Get that going too. And honestly, don't fall for when people will start taking kickers and defensives like Steelers defense, Rams defense, round 10, round 9. Let them take them, because when they're taking people like picks like that, there are other players that are falling to you at that position that you can get at a better value than, say, a defense that you're going to have to worry about.
Yep. These are things to avoid. We kind of touched on some of these before. These are pretty obvious for the most part. I think this is a big one, number 3. Don't get guys from your favorite team just because you're watching them. That doesn't cut it. I mean, I know you like Jeff fans might like to get Elijah Moore, and you're going to overdraft him. You're going to maybe miss out on, Laviska out of Jacksonville, or you might miss out on someone like a Waddle that might actually have a better year. So I wouldn't overdraft just based on your favorite teams. I know you watch these guys, but don't do it. I've seen a lot of teams get burned doing that.
Just because they're your favorite guys doesn't mean they're going to produce, and you're gonna hate them even more when they don't produce. And the next thing you know, you're in like a weird world where you're hating the player, but he's on your team. So just be a little smarter with that. And I mean, I have a Brady bias, but I won't sit there and take him in the 5th round, 4th round, something like that. Just to have him, I'll take someone else. That way I can secure a well-rounded team.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the rankings. Let's go into the positional rankings rather than the overall. The overall is in the draft kit, by the way. If you guys want it, just check out that link, the Linktree link. That's to get all your good uSTADIUM stuff. All right, so my man Stefan, we have these quarterback rankings right here. What do you disagree with? Let's go through it. So we have number 1, Mahomes, 2, Josh Allen, 3, Lamar, 4, Dak, 5, Kyler, 6, Wilson, Herbert, Tannehill, Rodgers, Brady. Those top 10, who should be in the top 10, who shouldn't? Let's hear it.
I'm taking Tannehill out of the top 10. I think, honestly, my top 10 would go Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Herbert, Brady, Stafford, Tannehill. I think I put Stafford in the top 10 only because the offensive arsenal he has. Yes, I know Julio Jones is in Tennessee. I know A.J. Brown's in Tennessee. But really, outside of that, who does Tannehill have to throw the ball to besides giving the rock 300 times to his powerhouse running back? Stafford has 3 weapons. He's got running backs that can catch the ball. He's got Tyler Higbee that can catch the ball. I personally think that this top 10 is good. So like I said, Kyler Murray's got the running side on Dak Prescott. He's also got, I feel like, more mobility. So not only will he have the rushing yards over Dak Prescott, I think passing yards won't be that much of a difference. I don't think Dak Prescott's going to be that much of a drop-off. I think he's comeback player of the year. I still have him in my top 5 because he has one of the best offenses in the league. Healthy offensive line, 3 receivers, a tight end, 2 running back sets, not just Zeke that can catch the ball, that can get him the stats that he has. Outside of that, the top 10 I think is pretty good.
Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty good also. I do think that I would put in Stafford into the top 10. I think you have to put Matt Stafford up there. I would actually bump up Brady, Rodgers, and Wilson. I'd bump them all up. I think Herbert's getting a little bit too much love from a fantasy perspective. I'm big Justin Herbert fan. I do think he's a little bit high on people's lists for the most part. I would draft. I'd put Russell Wilson in the top 4. You all know I'm a Seahawks lover over here. It's my NFC team, but Russell Wilson, the first half of the season, I had him last year. He was phenomenal. Yeah, he did tail off a little bit, but he gets you those rushing touchdowns as well. So you want to look at that. I think a sleeper here too as well, if you want to go outside the top 10. Joe Burrow. A lot of people don't realize how good Joe is, and think about how players come back from ACLs these days. So I think Joe Burrow is someone that a lot of people are sleeping on. He's got those weapons out there in Cincy. So Burrow's going to have some big games. Baker Mayfield also, I think, ranked 17th down there. Yeah, at 17 down there, I would look at him. I mean, he's in the, you know, Daniel Jones category of quarterbacks down there, and I think he's better than that from a fantasy perspective.
And these are honestly guys like from Jalen Hurts to Joe Burrow. I've always gone against this. Kirk Cousins. I know I've always trashed him in the back in the day. You know, he's not bad, but fantasy-wise, these are guys for bye weeks too that you could fill in. I mean, I'm taking Joe Burrow at the end of every draft as well, just for a QB2 for a bye week fill-in. So don't be scared to take them. I know they're not the prettiest of names, but Baker Mayfield actually had a productive season last year. Joe Burrow, before the injury, was productive as well. And Matt Ryan, he's been productive, even though he's kind of a flip-flopper. He's still been productive fantasy-wise.
Yeah. All right, let's go to running backs right now. This is a good one right here.
I love it.
So top 10 we have listed right here. I do really like our top 10 a lot. I think it's pretty solid. I think Nick Chubb should be a bit higher, but I think overall it's a very solid top 10. I think the question here, the biggest one, is Ezekiel Elliott, ranked 5th on this list. Is Zeke going to be able to be a top 5 running back going into 2021? To be honest, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Zeke. I know some people are. I think getting him over guys like Saquon, Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, even Najee Harris, I don't know what Zeke's value is going to be this year. So that'll be interesting to see. Birch Bonds, what do you think of the top 10, and what do you think of Zeke at 5?
To be honest, I'm a Zeke guy. I've had him 3 years out of like 10 I've been in the league. I like him. He produces, but I would drop Zeke down to 7. I would put, honestly, Barkley and Zeke, I would drop down. I'd put Eckler a little bit higher. I don't say Barkley's going to dud. I think he's going to do well. I don't know what Pollard has in the mix. I don't know how they feel about him yet, but he does take away some of his carries, some of his catches. At the end of the day, you take Zeke in the top 8, you're fine. 5, I wouldn't say 5. Maybe 7, but I would say Chubb's over him. Chubb has also the easiest running back schedule in the league. So if that helps you in any way, that just means that Chubb is likely to produce more numbers. I would put Elliott to 6, Chubb to 5, Barkley maybe to 8, and then leave Aaron Jones where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, Barkley's another one. We don't really know. That NFC East division is going to have a very interesting running back situation. I mean, that goes across to Miles Sanders as well. How's Miles Sanders going to produce? I mean, when he was coming out, he was a PPR-like back too, so we'll see what his value is out of the backfield there. Antonio Gibson, though, sleeper there at 12 for the most part. If he's healthy, that kid's a beast. You're going to give him the ball a lot this year. All right, we got Noah here. Noah, little shout-outs to the UFam. Damian Harris at 31 is a crime. To an extent, yeah. I think if you look at the players, there's 3 or 4 players above him that I'd probably put Damian Harris over. But I don't know, man. Now with Cam out in New England, I mean, that running game's going to be a little bit stagnant. You're going to have a more traditional style. No more option reads, no more threat of Cam holding and going on the outside. So Damian Harris is going to play traditional back ball. So I don't know. I don't know what his value is. But, yeah, I think him at 31 is a bit low.
I think even though we rank him at 31, like going back to our point in the beginning, the running back position is so scarce. And in New England, there are carries and catches to be taken away. We have James White there who's going to get his occasional 25, 30 catches a year. But Harris is in line. If Stevenson can't take the reins from him rushing-wise, Harris is in line for at least a good statistical number. He should get over 1,000 yards. I think with Mac Jones, it's actually better that he gets over 1,000 yards because, like you said, Cam Newton takes away from the rushing game because he has to rush the ball, rushing touchdowns, all that kind of stuff. At 31, and it might be a crime, but in a lot of leagues I've seen, running back is the heaviest position. He might be gone before the end of the 4th round. So someone's going to take him and then as their flex, or someone might take him as an RB2. Either way, you really can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And shout outs to the Option Podcast below. They'll be doing a mock draft tonight. I believe it's at 8 or 8:30 p.m. right here live. We're doing the 12-hour Hurricane Ida relief. We have auctions for Cam Jordan jersey. We have a Justin Fields signed mini helmet. That's going to be worth some bread in the future. Yeah, we have the link below to donate directly to the American Red Cross. All right, let's go into wide receiver rankings. We'll skip down these. This is my favorite. All right, so right over here. You know, I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the top group, because I don't trust them from an injury perspective. I wouldn't be happy leaving the first round with Tyreek Hill, Adams, or Diggs. I just wouldn't. I'd want that running back, which is what we spoke about earlier. Go with that running back in round 1. But yeah, I think the top 10 is pretty solid. I think Calvin Ridley is going to be a beast this year, obviously, without Julio there and the way he runs routes. Ridley might end up finishing as like wide receiver 2 or 3 this year in fantasy. I love A.J. Brown as well. He'll get some coverage taken away from him with Julio there. Top 10's pretty solid. We put CD in the top 10. CD Lamb's looking like he's going to have a huge year, looking like he's going to be that, number 1 fantasy receiver in Dallas. Yeah, Mock's at 8, Javier says. Yep, Mock's at 8. But yeah, what do you think of this top 10? Anyone that you would throw in there, or it looks pretty solid?
It's not really the top 10, and I also agree with you how you said about the whole first round thing. Nothing against these top 4 receivers, but there's no way you're going to have me touch a receiver first round. With all due respect to these guys, they're all going to be 1,000+ yard receivers. I just need that running back. Outside the top 10, really, it's not really bad. The only one I'm looking at right here is 17. I would put Godwin, I believe, over Tyler Lockett, and then I would drop Lockett under Kupp. Nothing to disrespect Lockett. I just feel like the number-wise, Kupp and Godwin, I think, are going to be in line for bigger seasons. We have Eskridge in Seattle, who looks pretty good. We have DK Metcalf, Gerald Everett. So I think the uptake in catches might go up for DK Metcalf, but might go down for Tyler Lockett, which might want me to drop him down about 2 spots. So maybe 19 or 20 with DJ Moore. But otherwise, I mean, there's so many receivers. I can't even –
Look at this group right here. Look at DJ Shark.
Yeah, that's like
Chase Claypool, Cortland Sutton, Debo Samuel, Tyler Boyd, Jerry Jeudy. I mean, every Devonta Smith, every single receiver, Antonio Brown, every single receiver from 28 to 36 has value.
And those are receiver 2s that you can have after, like, you can go running back, and then you go, oh no, well, who's my receiver now? You can take like a Jamar Chase, even Robbie Anderson, someone like that could be a wide receiver 2 for you. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, like, they could even be a wide receiver 1 for certain stretches of the year. So
exactly.
I love Chase Claypool this year. Not enough people are talking about him. I think he's very underrated at this spot. And DJ Shark didn't play in preseason, and a lot of people forget about him just because he hasn't played in preseason. DJ Shark's a monster, and now he has an actual quarterback with him. So look out for that. All right, let's run through this because we got only a couple minutes. These are wide receivers. Tight ends, really quick. We don't need to go through them much, but this is what we got on the tight end side. I'm a big fan of Tunyon. I think Tunyon, if you can grab him late, you're doing okay with yourself because he'll get some touchdowns. So I like him there. Let's go into the mock draft really quick. Kickers, don't even worry about it. You shouldn't have kickers in your league anyway. All right, 12-person mock really quick. We have McCaffrey, Henry, and Kamara going 1, 2, 3. I actually do think in my rankings, I think Derrick Henry's a number 2 running back coming in this year. I know people have gotten Cook over him. I think healthy, health-wise, Cook, yes, but I don't know if Cook's going to be healthy all year. Cook's been injured his entire career, including college. Yeah, Kamara with Jameis, what are you going to get there? Is Jameis going to be able to dump it off to Kamara? So I like Derrick Henry at 2 here. Just going down here, we go running back straight across the board on top, which is what you should do. If there's anything you learned from this little segment from fantasy time, it's this, that you go running backs. I would not take Kelsey in the first round. I think that's kind of insane.
You can find tight ends later on, like you said. Tanya and Gerald Everett's a sleeper that people aren't talking about. Don't take tight end as much as you want to. It's just not worth it.
I mean, in my opinion, if you could get Kelsey at the back half here of or the front half of the second round, I think you're not in bad shape. But I wouldn't be the first person to take a tight end without a wide receiver being taken. I also wouldn't be taking a quarterback like this early right here.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, the teams weren't bad. I mean, but are you okay with Michael Carter as your RB2? Stuff like that. That's stuff that scares you. But Adams, Carson, Deontay Johnson, and Allen Robinson with Kelsey, it's not bad. It's not really bad. But I just have a paranoia where I just need that RB2 to be a solidified guy over receiver.
Yeah. Some other picks here that are pretty interesting is Leonard Fernett, went a little high in this draft. Where is he going to go? How's he going to do this year? What's Ronald Jones' status going to be? I think the Bucs are going to play the hot hand. You'll have Leonard Fernett have his big games. Whenever that guy plays, regardless of where he is, he throws up a 200-yard game here or there. But don't be the person in your league that goes and trades for Leonard Fournette after a couple good games, because he might disappear. Another player I really like this year on this, right, actually next to Leonard Fournette, is Noah Fant.
Yep.
Noah Fant, I believe, is second in terms of receptions per game out of, I think, all tight ends when he's playing a full game. He's very underrated, and I think Bridgewater, I like him in that situation there. But yeah, just going down this a bit more. Don't be this guy or gal.
That's me.
This person. Holy crap. We were talking about people smoking down in Miami before. This person, I think Tampa might have stronger bud than Miami. Jeez.
Oh man, I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
my Lord.
out, but I mean,
look, this person drafted like an idiot. Drafts the Bucs defense before Darryl Mooney, before Cole Beasley. I mean, before Jonnu Smith. I mean, the value you can get. I mean, take Jonnu Smith. You don't know what's going to happen, and then take a defense. The Bucs aren't even the best defense in football. This isn't the 2002 Bucs. The 2002. You know what's funny? I was in a league one time. Nick knows this. Nick's brother got the 2003 Bucs the year after the 2002 season. He got them 11th pick overall. 11th right here. Got him right here.
Are you serious?
Got the Bucs defense. Yeah, it was the craziest pick I've ever seen. We were cracking up. Granted, the year before and the way defensive scoring was before, you can really stack up with defensive points. I mean, the Bucs defense dropping like 25, 30 points a game. And the person who had them had won. But it was just so funny. But yeah, this isn't the 2002 Bucs. Don't be this gal or guy. Nyheim Hines is another interesting one. And I will say this. Justin Fields late in drafts, if you can get him the second to last round, he can run. He can scramble. He's going to be a little bit of a sleeper. He's like a Cam Newton-styled quarterback. So is this going to be that year for him? I don't know. But remember Cam's rookie year, people were all over the waiver wire trying to get Cam.
Just stashed her for a little bit. It's going to happen. I keep saying it on the sports desk. Like I said, like Mac Jones thing, it's going to happen. Justin Fields is going to be the starter. And when he is in week 7, week 8, and he's winning you your fantasy championships, maybe like that, you'll look back to us and be like, wow, they were right. So just keep that in mind. He's a late pick, 16, 15 rounder, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we'll wrap this up. This mock was a little bit better. But yeah, if you want to check out the fantasy kit, hit up that link. It's linktr.ee. The tree is split in half, tr.ee. We had some people on some trees before. our Dolphins guys thinking the Dolphins are going to go 12-5. I don't even know what the hell the records are anymore. But yeah, just running down this. You got your high risk players. You have your sleeper players in the kit. Hit up the link, and yeah, shout outs to everyone supporting out there. We got another crew coming on, and Stefan, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thank you, pleasure. Appreciate it. You guys listen to what we said. Running backs are not easy to come by. Get them while you can, and you won't thank us later for it.
And get AB, baby.
Yes,
get AB.
He's the best receiver 3, value-wise, ADP-wise. He will be what you want in a receiver.
Get AB.
Business is booming.